and a very warm welcome to our special series, The Townhall, a program where we bring you the biggest newsmakers face to face with a live and a lively audience. We've had some of the biggest names in India featured on this program, but perhaps none that I have been this excited to introduce. He has lit up our cinema screens for more than 50 years, a multiple award-winning actor, hero, but also an outspoken citizen. And he's been occupying the headlines for the last several months. In fact, this week he's been lighting the headlines, literally setting our screens on fire, making waves in every possible media forum that you can think of. This is also a very special occasion to be speaking with him, a birthday context, big anticipation on where he may go with his plunge into politics. So much to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for a big welcome for Kamal Hassan.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
An absolute pleasure, really. And a little bit of nervousness. I'm feeling a bit nervous, and I've interviewed like presidents, prime ministers, but you're a bit scary.
Well, I don't know why.
I mean it as a compliment.
Thank you. I'm excited too. I already know you. We haven't met at all. So yeah. I think you might have also seen some of my
It
books.
feels a little bit like that.
Yeah, like we know each other already.
It's
so.
a good note to start on. More than 50 years in cinema. And yet, I don't know how many people know that you still describe yourself as a reluctant performer.
Yes. I mean, performance does not mean just coming in front of the camera. I mean, sometimes, I don't know, around 16 or 17, I was told that the real guy who makes movies are the writers and the directors. So I aspire to be that. And I've heard people like Hitchcock and others say that actors are just props for me.
You were anti-actors.
So I thought that's the best place to be. And acting is not an easy job. Neither is direction. So I thought I'll at least choose the most prestigious one. And I was aiming for it. But something else happened, and a kind gentleman became my sort of guru. And he said, you act. I thought when he called me for an interview that I'm going to become his assistant director.
Mr. Balachandran.
Mr. Balachandran. So I told my mother that I'm going to meet Mr. Balachandran. I think my life is made. And she was worried for me, and I was 17. And she said, take some photographs with you. No, technicians don't need photographs. He's just calling me because he must have heard of my prowess.
As a technician, that's what he was.
As a technician.
Yeah.
And I was working as an assistant choreographer in films. So when I went to him, the first thing he asked was, have you got some photographs? I sort of bit my tongue and thought of my mother and pulled out this folded, crumpled photograph, which was forced upon me by my mother, and I gave it to him, and that's when my acting career started.
And did you look good in that photograph?
Yeah.
Did you look good in the photograph?
No, actually not. No. Then after I did 2 movies with him, he asked me one of those, special moments when you get to talk with your mentor. Mm-hmm. And he said, what do you want to do? And I said, very humbly, broached the subject and said, I want to be like you, sir. He said, do you want to come to the studio in an auto rickshaw or a car? He said, but you're coming in a car. Yeah, but it doesn't happen to everyone. But much more than that is what has happened to you can't happen to anyone. You will be a big actor. So don't struggle as a technician. When you really become rich as an actor, then indulge in it. Finance yourself. And that's what I did.
And here we are. Fantastic. Yeah. There was a period because of the anti-Hindi agitation here that you actually had very little exposure to Hindi cinema.
Yes, and I lost out on some of the greatest talents of India, and like it hit me like a meteor when I saw Dilip Saab perform. I thought there was only one actor in the country, and that's Mr. Shivaji Ganesan. I was sort of shaken up, and the world opened up because of that.
So how many years did you just never see a Hindi?
10 years.
Really?
10 years of my life. And that's the most impressionable age. As a matter of fact, I went to see Padosan because somebody told me that there is this gentleman from North who's making fun of Tamilians. So we said we must go and sort of hoot the film down. Let's carry some blades if necessary. And
Blades?
Blades, so that we can cut the screen. And that's the kind of attitude with which we went into the theater. We were all just almost schoolboys.
Yeah.
And the film was Padosan.
Yeah.
And we saw Mahmood Bhai performing, and we forgot. And this blade cut both ways.
And you discovered that he could actually speak Tamil.
I became his fan. I've even told him that. And it was so lovely. I mean, getting to know. Then suddenly all the films, I started watching a spate of Hindi films because they also happened to be here. Otherwise, I would have lost another 5 or 10 years. I would attribute it to politics gone a little too far.
The anti-Hindi agitation.
Because ultimately it's the same nation. We should have been exposed to it. I feel like I've neglected a great part of my wealth.
Well, we're talking to you on a very special occasion, and there's so much to talk about. A big birthday. So I think we can put our hands together and wish Mr. Hassan a very, very happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you're making headlines all the time. And not for your acting necessarily. How does that feel? How does it feel to be in the news for the positions you take that are often unrelated to what some would say is your core, your core avatar as an actor?
Well, it feels different to begin with. It feels, what is surprising to me is that I'm suddenly in the headlines for the things that I've been always saying. I've not found new words, or I've not changed my attitude.
You mean we've just discovered you?
Yeah, I think the focus just happened. For not just the national media has always been kind to me, media in general. But I think the focus is from another field altogether, and they're focusing on me.
The political parties.
Yes.
They're all lining up to meet you. The Delhi Chief Minister was here in Chennai. Mamata Banerjee's reached out to you. You went to meet the Kerala Chief Minister. Who's courting whom here?
No. For me, as I had said earlier, it's an educational tour. I'm touring to get information because I have no shame in admitting that I'm a rookie.
Would you call yourself a rookie politician or a rookie wannabe politician? Like, how do we describe Mr. Kamal Haasan on the 7th of November?
You can say that I'm already it.
You're already a politician. Now, that's an exciting announcement. I think we have a new politician.
Yeah, but I always said, I hate to throw water, dampen the
excitement.
But the thing is, the moment I went into Hindi agitation, for a reason, I was into politics. I didn't realize I was political. And the reason we went into, as the North Indians understand it, it's a belated podium on which I'm explaining. The fact is, we were not angry, or we didn't want to destroy the language or do away with the language. We wanted to save our language. That was that struggle. That agitation was about that. When you suddenly promulgate that this will be the only language for the nation, the other languages lose out. Suddenly, overnight, whatever was the population of that Tamil Nadu at that time, they become illiterate overnight.
So are you saying
the
that...
central government jobs are not available. So that sort of unsettled the
So
thing.
would it be fair to say that that anti-Hindi agitation of Tamil Nadu was your early initiation into politics, using politics as you know, in a deeper way? We're all political. We all have positions. We all have points of view.
No, and I have never shied away from the fact, like some people did in Germany. They said, I'm just an artist.
Yeah.
I will not get involved in politics. I'm just an entertainer. I'll entertain, and this is something else.
You don't have to go to Germany for that. You have to go to Mumbai to hear that. Almost nobody has the spine in Mumbai to take a position.
Yes, but then,
I mean, in the film industry.
yeah, anything that is a civic duty cannot be neglected by an actor. He's like everybody else. As a matter of fact, I'm going a step further. That will be my philosophy to the strength that I'll harness from people is to tell them that you have a duty to get into politics. What you're suffering is your lack of indulgence, your lack of input into this, and you want only the output. What have you done? You haven't. I haven't. And it's time. The time has come. If you don't have that vigil, then you're only complaining and you're only attending the malady symptomatically.
Is there a north-south divide here? Is the south braver than the north? I say this as a proud Punjabi from North India, but when I look at the north, I have found that when actors and artists have taken positions on my programs, they have shied away, they've had to dial back those positions, they're scared of being trolled, they're scared of their movies suffering. Commerce is paramount to them. Is there a different culture in the South, or are you a rare breed even here?
It has been, because I've seen my predecessors, my senior actors, not all of them, but some of them. There were few who did not indulge in politics, kept away from it. Like someone almost like my family, Mr. Gemini Ganeshan, did not indulge in it. Mr. Ravichandran did not indulge in it. Many people didn't. But Mr. MGR and Mr. Shivaji, they did. As a matter of fact, very strongly.
But do you worry about consequences, repercussions to the commerce of your movies, to the commerce of your cinema?
I think Tamil Nadu has been kind to voices, generally, all kinds of voices. I'm proud to have been here because there was no suppression. The only two places I would have chosen to be safely, to grow freely, would have been Kerala and Tamil Nadu.
Well, I think that would please the audience here for sure.
The reason is, now when I look at it from a point of view, like I hadn't traveled out of the country at that time. Now when you go out and look at your country, it's almost like an aerial view, like a space view of the earth. You understand the contours, and suddenly you're so thankful
that you're from here,
for what has happened to you, and so angry at the same time for what you had let happen to you. And that way, yes, we envy the North Indian businessmen for their valor in business, which we lack here. The biggest business houses will say that they beat us by about a century. We could have done it, but we were so frugal, cautious that we were left behind. That's which I admitted with chagrin. I'm not a rich man, I'm not a big businessman, but I've seen that big houses could have been where they are today at least 30 years back.
But you feel your freedoms are greater here?
Yes, it is, truly. And you can clearly understand why it is so, because certain people bet their life to get us this freedom. I mean, it's not like getting shot like Gandhiji, almost. They've stuck their neck out for us to speak so freely.
So talking about getting shot, you have received a threat from an extremist group actually threatening violence against you, actually threatening danger to your life, because you were quoted as having written that Hindu right-wing groups too are now not immune from terrorism.
Yeah, I think
Do you want to first tell this audience and all our viewers what you exactly said, because it was in fact in response, if I'm not wrong, to something raised by the Kerala Chief Minister.
Yeah, the subject was raised by him, and it was answered by a man whose family is 99% Hindu.
That's your family.
My family.
99% Hindu.
Hindu.
What is the 1%?
Because some of my close and distant relatives have married out of the religion, and their partners are still in the same religion that they married, the religion from which they married.
Right.
My brother's son, late brother, Mr. Chandarasen's son, is married to a Muslim lady, and she still continues to be a Muslim. And there are certain people in the family, distant uncle's daughter, married a Christian. So I belong to a family like that. Most of the time, I'm mistaken for a Muslim.
Because of your last name?
Because of my last name. Actually, here, we don't have last names. We have first initials.
That's right.
My father changed it for me. He liked to give that change. I asked him for it. Otherwise, I used to be S. Kamal Haasan, Srinivasan being my father's name. But when in school they mistook me for Muslim, I told him that everybody thinks I'm a Muslim. He said, don't tell them that you're not. It's fun in this country. So that's what I've been following. In North India, they misspell my name. In most of my interviews, I never corrected it.
H-A-S-A-N.
I never corrected it.
I corrected it for this program, I can tell you that. Yes.
Only for this.
No, because it's a common mistake that's
No,
made.
no, but in a way, it's a compliment that I belong.
That's fantastic.
And I didn't want to change that. It doesn't matter if it's only a minority that I'm belonging to. I already belong to the majority. So wanting to belong to another group is typical of an artist.
That's fantastic. I mean, I really think that's the kind of liberalism
That's
we
what
don't
it
hear
is.
enough of.
And then I asked my father, can I change my name in the Gazette?
To what?
To Kamal Hassan instead of yes, Kamal Hassan. So my passport says Kamal Hassan now. And the ambiguity of who I am will continue to be for generations, and I'll leave it unanswered.
And proudly so.
Proudly so.
That's fantastic. I think really. But I need to take you back to the comment you made.
I would like to say, but before even hurting the sentiments of the general populace Hindus, I must be worried about the very staunch Hindus within the family.
Because they won't be pleased with you either.
Yeah. So I have to be careful what I say, because I do care for them. My daughter Shruti is an ardent temple goer and Hindu. And
A believing Hindu.
yeah, and I really don't understand the word Hindu was coined by those who governed us, those who.
Well, Hindustan originally was a reference to the river Indus. But the
No,
word has
Indus,
been-
because, yeah.
But Hinduism is different. Yes.
Sindhu, because
Yes, Sindhu.
if you see that in your history books, you have this Asur Banipal, but actually they pronounce it as Ahur Banipal, because they don't pronounce S, like
That's
Bengalis don't conveniently pronounce V. So they, instead of Sindh, they said Hind.
Right.
And that's where it comes from. But actually, for governance sake, the British sort of put it under one umbrella for better understanding and called us Hindus. Nowhere in the Vedas or the Tamil literature we have this name at all. You're either Vaishnavite, Saivite, Jain, or there are other 6 or 7 which Mr. Adi Shankara united. I think sort of a conglomerate of, as we call it, the Shanmata Stapan that was made. I think these kind of alliances started much before politics thought of it in 8th century.
But you have a daughter to answer to. Nevertheless.
My daughter, my family, my brothers no more, but he was practicing and a praying Hindu every day. I was a praying Hindu till I was 12. And a little, you could call me an extremist because I was doing 3 hours of it. I started when I was 4. That's a little too much. I think that's why I went to the other side of the spectrum.
How did you move from that to becoming a rationalist / atheist?
I think I will thank Tamil Nadu for that. Because the voices that was coming around. And by the time I was 16, I had so much of influence from Kerala.
Yeah.
When I was 16, I was floored by a man who had an enormous stutter. I've never heard a politician speak with a stutter. And nobody laughed, nobody made fun of him. All Malayalis know who I'm talking about. Yeah, there you are. So EMS, and I was stunned because I was looking around, because how could this man get away with that? I mean, he stutters and people are listening to him, I mean, bated breath. And then I spoke about him to others and they told me what he is. And I'm very happy that I'm able to narrate this in a thing. These are special children of India.
So that was your journey from yourself being a practicing, believing, religious man to an atheist / rationalist. But when you wrote about right-wing Hindu, in quotes terrorism, because that's how it's been translated.
No, we call it Tivravadi and Bhayankaravadi are two different things. Tivravadi, let me tell you, when somebody works hard for an exam, they don't say, I'm working extremely hard. In Tamil, we say Tivrama. Tivram means intensely also. And Tivram also means extremely hard. So that's when we actually use it. When we want to say terror, they say Bhayankaravadi. We say Bhayankaravadi.
But you did not say Bhayankarvadi.
I deliberately, because I was scared of the Hindus in my family. They have a bigger weapon. My emotions, they could play with it. So I'm quite used to being shot at, but the instrument is going to change.
So you were talking about Hindu extremism, warning against Hindu extremism and not Hindu terrorism, which is how it was translated.
What I was saying is that it used to be that the violence was reflected in the other, let me not say other, I'm not a...
Among the Muslims.
Among the Muslims, let me state it. So among the Muslims, there was violence because they were the first citizens of India at one time. And the chagrin, as Mr. Ambedkar says, what ails a Muslim of India after independence is the fact that he was the first citizen of India when it all began, the struggle. He fought along with everybody else for that freedom. And he thought that when freedom would be second, maybe not, third, he was willing to settle for it. But he was not there in the second, third, or the fourth level citizenship. So it was a big letdown. The hegemony pushed him further. And also because in his sacrifice to fight against the British, he also fought against their form of education.
Right.
And stayed within the madrasas. He lost out on what the Brahmins higher think, the converts to Christianity, all of them who enjoyed the British education was lost to them. By the time they woke up and started their own university, they were behind by almost 100 or more years. That was what was ailing them, and that's why they were...
And that was Ambedkar's great essay, but what did you want to say?
And
you wanted to say...
I wanted to say, yes, they were angry, they were violent, and they reacted violently. And I know that there was constant dialogue with them. And then suddenly the Hindu side also started imitating that extreme part of what they are confronting. And this is not recent. If you take Bhiwandi riots, I've been looking into the history when I made Hey Ram.
Yeah.
I found they had not changed the screenplay of the events. It's the same story repeating year after year after year, the same reasons for which they fought. Nothing was corrected. And I would blame it on the beneficiaries of these communal riots, the politicians.
So Javed Akhtar had a line once on one of my shows, and he said that extremist Hindus are beginning to ape Muslim fundamentalists.
Exactly what I'm saying. I think he's a good friend of mine, and we have had long conversations.
He's an atheist like you.
I'm not an atheist, I'm a
You're
rationalist.
a rationalist.
Yeah.
So you're religious within reason. You're religious within reason, or you're an agnostic?
I'll tell you, I'm not religious. When I was 14, when you asked me how did it change, there was an argument, and somebody very intelligent Sanskrit scholar was having a conversation with my brother. And it was going back and forth, and it was a fantastic conversation. So many things went above my head because they were talking about Einstein, this, that, Adi Shankara. It was jumping into various faculties of human thinking. And I was standing there, and suddenly it felt like my brother is sort of backing out, because the other man, who was very religious, said, ultimately you'll have to accept the fact that there is a power beyond all this, more powerful than whatever you can imagine. My brother said, yeah, maybe. Well, I rest my case, he said. And I felt that the lawyer brother, elder brother, whom I almost respect like a father, is almost giving in. Then I said, yeah, maybe, but I don't think your case rests, sir. And he said, why? There might be a power multi-million times better than whatever power I could conceive of. But why worship it? And my brother looked at me and said, welcome to the club. And he was an atheist. He calls himself an atheist. But that's what I do. I will not worship. I'll try to understand it, if possible, harness it. Subjugation is something which is an impedance on the ascent of man.
That's a great line, and I agree. I think nothing disturbs me more than the coercion of thought. I think that is what defines a democracy, otherwise you're not a democracy. But I just want to move on from this to your larger plans. So you were talking about not aping, because one of the criticisms that came from the BJP was, why did Mr. Kamal Haasan not talk about Islamist violence? Why did he not talk about Muslim terror groups? Why did he not talk about the Kerala young men who are being recruited by the ISIS? Why did he talk only about Hindu right-wing extremism?
Well, if you're keen to talk about it, let's talk about it. Because I would like to condone and condemn all kinds of violence that comes through religion, violence in general. Why go all the way to religion thing? I mean, the uncontrollable guns of America is another religion. It's a neo-religion. We have Shiva in one cylindrical shape, and they have another thing which is in the form of a gun. Americans almost worship it. They need it. They think that it's a life support system. I don't think so. And most Americans don't think so. That's the truth.
But the suggestion was that you were being politically correct. You were talking about right-wing extremism, but not focusing on Islamist orthodoxy or Islamist extremism, and you would say what to that?
Sorry to...
No, please.
No. Let me tell you what I exactly was saying in that. Most of them, I think, live in Madras, and they know that whoever has lived as long or longer than me would have remembered that the Vinayak Chaturthi and the Milad Nabi, we never knew how a Muslim household looked like, because we never even interacted. And we didn't know where Milad Nabi happened. As a matter of fact, we can't even see or find out where Vinayak Chaturthi happens. It's nothing to do with the population. It was done discreetly, and we dumped our Vinayaka after the prayer into our wells. It's a part of replenishing the ecosystem of the well. It was made of fresh clay, and it's supposed to go into your well. It's a part of that ritual. I have done it. I prayed to that god. He, right from his entry into Tamil Nadu, Ganpati has always been a political god. He came after the vanquishing of Pulikeshin II by the Pallava king, and the general Paranjoti brought it. That's why we call him the Vatapi Ganapati. And when he came in, they added him into the pantheon of South Indian gods and placed him outside the temple. So this dichotomy of keeping a certain community or lower communities out of the temple could be dealt with, because they have a little god, and you can say that this is the son of the god. So that godfather is inside. This is Vito Corleone's son, Michael Corleone. You can pray to him. It's something like that. So,
I've never heard Ganesh described in the context of Godfather.
But he's a versatile actor. I've even seen Kargil Ganapati in Chennai. Can you believe it? You've been to Kargil itself. And that was the day I was stumped. I said, this man is more versatile. But I still didn't feel like worshipping. I was astounded.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, this kind of small, happy, private practice became very public. For the past 30 years, it's growing in size. And a group of our friends, about 30 years back, gathered together, and we called it Harmony India. And we went in and intervened every time during Vinayak Chaturthi and Milad Nabi, and we had a meeting. Yeah, but all of them kept a smile and hid their rancor.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was futile. But I thought we can't let it go. But let me tell you, I see a great future for the dialogue, for communal dialogue is going to get better, because here, if you see, when you see these exam results for high school, before it used to be only upper caste Hindu names.
Yeah.
Now you see Muslim girls becoming state first so many times. So when the mother is educated, the sons are going to be better.
That I agree with. When you got the death threat, I mean, you read about it, that, let's go and shoot him, or he should be shot for his comments. Do you feel that kind of threat proved the point that you were trying to make?
My case rests. My case rests, ma'am.
The Hindu Mahasabha saying Kamal Hassan should be shot.
Yeah, I think many have given me, thinking of giving me, or even wish to give me, or already given me my birthday present, but they beat them all to it. And I'm very happy they sort of proved my point and gave me a birthday present. Because that is what I was saying.
So you're saying the death threat from the Hindu Mahasabha was a great birthday present because it actually proved your point?
It proved my point, and I'm used to being shot at, but the instrument they meant is something else. It's not a camera.
Well, I'm glad you retain your sense of humor about it. But it is your birthday. There is a lot of anticipation about what you're going to do with your political plunge. So can you share a little bit of your plans? Are we going to see you contesting elections? Who do you see as your potential partners? What's going to be the first thing you're going to do as Neta Kamal Hassan?
Okay. I've already started doing that, so it's not the first thing that we are talking about to be. See, when I said that I'm already there, nobody understood what I'm saying, because I am a politician. Now, sitting here and talking, I am a politician.
But are you an electoral politician?
Yeah, I'm going towards it. That's an announcement if you want. But
well, there we have the announcement that we've been waiting for.
No, but the thing is, when I said that I cannot announce the party's name or everything, because the media have already committed to saying he's going to announce it on 7th.
Yeah.
So when I said media pressures, I mean no insult, but I only mean the pressure.
Yeah.
So I cannot make a call on that and do that because there's so much preparation. I take 3 months to make a film, to prep a film, leave alone the writing of the story, screenplay and all that. After the screenplay is written, I take about 3 months.
So where are we with this political thing? Has the film been shot? Is it at the editing table?
No.
Is it pre-release? Are we in the publicity phase? Like, where are we with this?
The release
script?
will happen. The release will happen during elections.
So Kamal Haasan will contest elections.
I have to. When I said I will come, that's what I meant. Because it's no use talking that I'm inviting all of you. It's not enough if Kamal Haasan goes. He's not going to do the work for you. You have to appoint somebody. The politician is not your leader. You're not sheep. You need no shepherds. I truly feel that I feel insulted when they say that he's my shepherd, he's going to herd me towards success. I don't want that. He is my keeper of my gate, of my city. Call him the town crier, whatever. But it's a job. I've appointed him. He's not my leader. He's like a CEO of a company. He should be fired if he's not up to the mark. And with that preparation to vacate the chair or vacate the position, whatever position you give me, is how I'm coming into politics. It has to be, I mean, whenever I say that politician is a civil servant, no. Politician is not a civil servant. He is something above civil servant. How? I don't understand. Call it pedestrian. Why this hegemony there? I think he is also a civil servant of a higher order, if you want.
And accountable to the people.
Accountable to people. And that's not the case.
And is what brought you to this moment of being finally an electoral politician under your own banner, under your own party, was it the disenchantment with Tamil Nadu politics? Was it the disenchantment with every political party here?
No, but after some time, I felt that my dialogue, my argument, my stance is not changing. It's improving. It's becoming bolder and bolder, the voice. The thing is, first we said they're all corrupt.
Right.
What do? Take a machine gun and take the Mahasabha route? I mean, destroy them and then the problem goes away. No, it won't. Because who are they after all? These people didn't come from Mars. They came from our streets, from our district, from our cities. We appointed them. They, like the gods that we make, they are very similar to us in form, in behavior, and all that. So the politicians' corruptness comes from the people.
Yeah.
Are you ready to take that insult? I am. Because
You're saying we get the politicians we deserve, in a way.
Yes, but should we deserve that? Should we not deserve more? For which, what is our input? And that's what I'm asking. I was insulted, and I beseech you to be insulted. And say that, no, I'm not like them. Then you change, and they'll change. This is something which might sound new to you, but it's been said almost 100 years back by Mr. M.K. Gandhi.
Be the change you want to see.
Yes.
Be the change you want to see.
He put it down so precisely in 2 words. And another thing, I've been, as every youth does, icon bashing is a great sport. And it's fun. And I've been doing that. And Gandhi did not escape our target practice. But let me tell you, it is not Congress, it's not the rupee note, it's not my school textbooks that made me go near Gandhi.
Then?
I found Gandhi. I excavated Gandhi from within the people of India and their problems. And I found him. That doesn't mean I'm pro-Congress. Because what you call BJP today used to be those people who supported Gandhi physically when he walked across planks to go into Navakali to meet people. They were all one. They were fighting together. Then they split up as parties. It's the same house. I see it that way. And there is enough for everyone's need, but not any man's greed.
Where do you locate yourself in the political spectrum? Clearly, though you say we're all one country, clearly you're not with the BJP, you're not with the Congress. How would you define your political value? Are you left of center?
No, I like all the things.
Or you hate them all? That's another way of looking at it.
What?
To hate everybody equally also makes up your mind, right?
Well, I can do that too.
Yeah,
they make it very easy.
I mean,
they make it easy on my part. It's very easy. But what I'm saying is, since we're sitting in a hotel, let me use the hotelier language. These are like chefs. I'm in a buffet. I'm the customer. I can choose. I can take a pick of everything and create a new plate. And that's where I am. The chefs will say, that's what I made. This is what I made. Each one claims that he's made that. It's fantastic. But I want to eat only...
You want to make your own dish?
Yes.
You want to be your own dish?
Yeah, and it's already cooked. I'm not saying I'm going to cook all over again. I'm not reinventing the wheel. But there is that's the possibility for all of you. There is this thing. Don't sort of go and invest everything. It's an old adage. Don't put all the eggs in one basket.
Yeah. So where are you putting your eggs? In how many baskets?
I'm creating a basket. I'm creating a basket and collecting eggs. I'll have to be careful about choosing the eggs and the quality of it. Rotten eggs, we know what to do.
Use them to throw a few. But let's go deeper into this. In the recent past, you apologized for misplaced support for demonetization. You said you were wrong to support it.
It's not an insult. People said, you're insulting the PM. Why would I? He's my PM. Why would I insult him? The fact is, I was looking forward to an idea. It happens when I go to a movie, be it Dilip Saab or Marlon Brando. You go to the movie expecting everything, and you call your friends, you take 10 of them, you even pay for one of your friends, and you take them and you're not happy with the film. Somewhere it fails you. And it's not Brando's fault. There's no screenplay. The director might have been wrong. So what I'm saying is that GST is a good idea.
Demonetization.
Huh?
Demonetization.
GST, all are good ideas. It's been done before. It's not the first time. We didn't invent the process. And GST also, GST is a big contention now. It's a good idea, and it didn't start only with them. I have been discussing this from FICCI, where I belong to in the media and entertainment sector. And I've spoken to them with the previous government about GST. And there wasn't enough preparation from my industry. Suddenly, it's a knee-jerk reaction to GST, which we were informed of 4 or 5 years before. That's the part of the mistake from the receiving end.
Why did you do the apology video? Why did you come out and say to people, I'm sorry, I should not have supported demonetization?
Yeah, because I was really going across the line.
And welcoming it earlier.
Welcoming it. Like Swachh Bharat is still a good idea, because I've been talking about it. And
I mean, the Prime Minister reached out to you at one point to be a Swachh Bharat ambassador.
Yes. It's a grand idea, and I've been thinking about it, and someone is putting it to action. So I must be part of it. I'll still be part of it. It doesn't matter what I spoke about Hindus, Muslims, or Christians. Doesn't mean that I will not be part of something that will improve my country. And I still feel that demonetization is not a bad idea.
But went wrong.
Something went wrong, and we're not blaming the PM for it. What I said in my statement, if he says the same thing and says, yeah, the implementation went wrong, another salute goes up for him. Salam, I said. Probably that's a little bit of a mischief. I can apologize for it.
For saying salam instead of namaste.
Yeah.
Tongue firmly in cheek, which is how I think you are. How do you see the Prime Minister, Mr. Modi's government's performance, the slogan of Achhe Din? Do you feel that, to say in Hindi, which was sacrilege in Chennai, but
He never. You can't.
But do you feel that Achhe Din aa gaye hain?
Did he say aage?
No, I'm asking you. He promised Achhe Din.
No,
Have
so
those Achhe
we'll have to
Din?
go by what he said. So I'm looking forward.
You mean you're waiting?
Huh?
You're waiting for your Achhe Din in Tamil Nadu.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. Aega means it will come. I also believe it will come.
One day.
One day.
Okay. You have a very interesting position earlier on a rather unfortunate politicization in our country that has even led to violence. Beef politics. We have seen innocent people, cattle traders, Muslims, Dalits being lynched over rumors of beef. And that's the irony. It isn't even beef, it's been rumors of beef. And if it was beef, my point would be, so what? You do not kill a person, you do not attack a person over that. You have taken a position where you actually don't eat beef anymore.
Anymore. But
But you used to.
I think both the doctors and I took the doctor's advice, not the other advice, why I didn't take beef. But I love the meat. It's fantastic, and I like it rare. But that's my choice. I mean, there are people who are going hungry. It's unfair to even talk about well-cooked or rare beef, and especially among vegetarians. I think I can quickly spot a few vegetarians here.
How do you spot a vegetarian?
No, I know them, that's why.
Oh, you know them. I thought there's like some way to spot a vegetarian.
On site? I wish.
But yet you took the position, even though you don't eat beef yourself, that don't give me my menu. Give your people food. Don't give us a menu.
Yes.
When you make these statements, are you not scared of drawing attention to yourself? You know, we had Kajol, who's an actress, put up a post about beef, and then she, I think, was scared of the consequences or hurting sentiments. She took that post down. She clarified.
No, look,
Do you sometimes worry that people will come after you, that they'll troll you, they'll say horrible things about you, they'll beat you up on the streets? Anything can happen, right? Do you worry?
People like, it stopped after some time, so I can't say that all politicians are like that. Gandhiji took on criticism head-on collision. He took it head-on. As a matter of fact, it's there in my film also. I think it's about 2 or 3 days before he was, deja vu, before he was shot. Somebody from Bannu, I think, Gujarat, they came and they had suffered a lot. And he was visiting them, or they visited him. It's sort of a condolence meeting for what happened. He thought that'll settle rancor and sort of let them cry it out, let them come to me. And it's a great gesture. And they came and they were very angry. Someone said, you ruined the country. Enough of you fooling around in the country. All those kinds of insulting words. And they said, why don't you go away? Be gone, old man. And the other elders stopped the younger guy. And then the older man came forward and said, okay, I apologize for him, but why don't you go to a place where usually older people go instead of troubling the country? I'm an old man, I'm telling you. For which he said, yeah, some people say, go to Himalayas because I'm an old man.
Yeah.
I know, I understand your euphemism. I know where you're asking me to go. But I also, like you, would like to understand it is like Himalayas that you're asking me to go. But this is my Himalayas. I'll tell you where I want to go. I want to go with a group of people to Pakistan to talk to people like you there who have also suffered. That's where I want to go. Are you willing to come? And I had put it in my film. That's the day that the would-be assassin who wants to would have been an assassin,
Really?
which I played.
Yeah.
And
This is Hiram.
Hiram.
Yes.
And he stands there and he's now vacillating. His gun is still in the holster.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to shoot the man. That's the film I made. That's how I found Gandhi. I was saying sorry to him.
For what? For his death?
No, yeah.
For his murder?
Yeah, because I come in that lineage. Vaishnava jana to tene re kahe je, peed par aayi jane re. And I am born in a Vaishnavite family. I felt I owed him an apology.
So
I know, it's mushy, but
no, it's moving.
I do get mushy about that man.
He's worth getting mushy about. I agree with you. I want to ask you something. You said that you don't like this idea of shepherds, that people are not cattle to be led. Yet we are in the one part of the country, and you've said that Tamil Nadu and Kerala are the two places where you felt you could evolve safely. But there's something about this part of the country that as a North Indian I don't understand, which is this cult status bestowed on individuals. Like there is hysteria around an individual. So when I remember Jayalalitha, I remember people of her party carrying a photograph of her inside transparent white pockets of their kurta so that people could see that they were carrying that. I mean, that's insane. To me, that's insane. And sycophancy comes in many forms in all parties, so I'm not singling out one party. But are you disturbed by that kind of, prostrate at your feet kind of political worshipping that happens here? And how are you going to promise us that you're not going to be, though you're a big movie star, you're not going to want people to worship you? You're going to want people to argue with you if they disagree with you.
Fortunately, I'm glad that we came around to this point after having discussed about my thoughts on worship.
Yes. It's interesting, so, yes.
Yes, I'm glad. I don't believe that anyone, now people fall at the feet. I don't know what that means. It means height of veneration for somebody. I've done it myself. But I think that should not in any way hamper my personal dignity. I cannot give it up for respect's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can touch
No, touching feet is not the point. It's that blind worship.
A foot massager touches the feet. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. And respectfully too. Yeah. So that's nothing wrong with that. But there's something else that you give up when you fall flat. That subjugation is what I will not like any man to undergo because I want. I will not ask anyone to do something which I myself am not capable of.
So what are you promising us as a politician? How are you going to be different from everything that's come before?
No, I'm going to be like them. And they don't know how to reflect themselves in a politician.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be like them because they have to change also for me to be there. If they can all let me down, because if they don't go to vote, the right kind of people don't go to vote, I'll fail. I'm not afraid of failure. I'm not afraid of my failure. I'm afraid of their failure. If they fail, then the hope will have to be postponed. We keep hoping and nothing happens. At least going towards progress, it's constant impedance coming from these people. It can change.
In these Chennai rains, you have appealed to people to come out and volunteer, and you actually said, interestingly, don't criticize the government. Though you have otherwise been a critic of the Tamil Nadu government, in this context, you have appealed to people to come out and volunteer and not criticize the state government. What made you add that tag, don't criticize the state government?
Like somebody gets drunk, dies of cirrhosis of the liver. You can't, there's a widow, there's a son, family is orphaned. No use shouting at that man and saying, you alcoholic, look how you have ruined him. He can't look. He's dead. So what you do is console the people and prepare for cremation.
You do know that you get into trouble because you're deeply ironic and a lot of people just don't get how smart your humor is. So I think we can have another round of applause to say we got your joke. We got it. Before I open up for questions in the last 5-10 minutes that we have, Rajnikant, someone else who's your friend, some would say your cinematic competitor, also someone who is speculated to maybe join politics. Do you see both of you on different sides of the political trenches in a way?
Maybe it
do you
can
see
happen.
him closer to the right of center and you closer to the left of center in thought?
Yes, that's how it's perceived.
Do you agree with that perception?
No, but ultimately left and right doesn't matter. It's about the people. You use, both of them are instruments. All isms are instruments, political instruments, which will improve the life of the world and the people. And
how do you see Rajnikant as a future politician?
oh well, he's got as much a chance as I have, or as much problems that I will face. I mean, it could go either way.
As much chance and as many challenges.
Challenges, yes.
But you don't see yourselves on the same side, politically, I mean.
Well, I would never, as I told you, I'm not going to suddenly turn worshipper overnight.
And you're saying he's
He is not going to also become rational overnight. So we'll have to find a meeting point, if at all there is a meeting point. But doesn't matter. I mean, there's enough for everybody's need.
Have you shared with him your decision?
Yes. The first person I told before anybody else, when I said, I'm into the game, I'm going there.
And how did he respond?
He said, yeah, really? Because he knows I said, I'm very angry. But that is not the reason why you should come. But I feel committed. I think the time has come, and I must tell you, and anything more I cannot tell you because we had a longer conversation. So, but what I told him finally, he said, okay, all the best. And I said, one promise, we'll have to make each other. When we get into the field, we'll be very cordial, kind, never throw insults, because we have to set an example like we have in the film industry. Because we have set an example. We had a lot of differences of opinion. We are competitors. And the fans don't help at all. They keep fueling it. He's calmed down. They are like people in the Circus Maximus, you know. They want to kill. They keep doing this. And in spite of all that, we've been very cordial. And there are a lot of people who try to gain currency by whispering things, and we have to work with the same person, and we always communicate and say, look, there's the danger, this guy is playing us against each other. So
you talk directly to each other?
We talk directly so that there's no confusion. We never start suspecting that it could have been that. We just ask each other, and that's what we've been doing for nearly 40 years now.
Would you call him a friend?
Yes.
Good friend?
Good friend. Yeah.
That's good to hear. Talking about movies, and then I'm opening it up. Please, if you have questions, raise your hand. I think there's someone here with a mic, so we should start the ball rolling. Okay. Talking about movies, Vishwarupam, the sequel is going to come soon. The poster is out. It has tricolor, an injured face, and you looking very grim. It reminded me of this entire nationalism debate that is ongoing right now. We are debating whether the anthem should play out mandatorily in movies. The Supreme Court judges seem divided on it. One judge felt yes, another judge has thrown the ball back to the central government. What do you believe? Why has nationalism become such a hot potato issue today in our politics?
See, bhakti of any kind, Raj Bhakti or Desh Bhakti, is a very important tool that politicians always wield. It's for the people to understand that they are trying to stoke that emotion. And I'm not saying that they should not have either, but don't take it to the extreme. When I say extreme, I don't mean terror.
No, oh my God. No. Don't-
Don't take it to the extreme. I have to clarify because it's a funny country with 15 attitudes, 22, 29 attitudes.
Yes.
Sorry. It's growing.
Do you agree with the anthem playing out in cinema halls?
No, because I feel that, see, there is a film, an old film of mine, where I beat up a guy who is eating peanuts while the national anthem is playing on. I'm watching him by the corner of the eye, but I wait for it to get over, and then it catch him with the scruff of the,
And beat him.
and I beat him, and people told me, this is my national anthem. Can't you hold on to your peanuts for 5 more minutes? And the reason why this kind of disrespect happens is because you're making it available everywhere. And I think it should have there should be a solemn occasion, and I respect my anthem, and I'd like all to stand. The disobedience comes because they think it's a casual. They take it casually.
You're saying the movie hall is not a somber space?
Yeah, but they come there for entertainment, and they think of the anthem as an intrusion in their fun and.
So it's more where it's being played, and you love the anthem, as do I.
Yeah,
Okay.
some of them are drunk. They come there and they're happy. I don't want that place. I mean, you would say the same about a church or a temple or any other place. Give it the same. If you think it is bhakti, desh bhakti, then behave yourself and put it in a place where, when I say behave yourself, I'm not talking about the government, I'm talking about the people.
Are you going to clarify every 4 words now?
Yes, have to. I got a gun to my head, you must understand.
Then you won't be the Kamal Hassan who's so compelling if you keep clarifying yourself. So don't do that. Let's take questions. We have about 5-7 minutes for questions. Yes, please stand so we can see you better and ask your question. And please, no comments, essays, just a question. Yes. Yes.
So we know.
Go ahead, it's on.
We know you're a rationalist.
Rationalist or nationalist?
Rationalist.
Okay. Yeah.
So the question is, how do you feel when people call you Andavar?
It's been addressed by.
Can you take that?
It's been addressed by another rationalist. Since you use the Tamil word,
Can you explain it for people who may not know Tamil?
Andavar also means those who ruled. So, Andavan is a past tense for a man who governed. So, I think they don't mean God, hopefully. Momentarily, for 2.5 hours, I must have ruled their heart if they like the movie. So, that kind of aludal.
Okay, here in the front row. If you can stand, everyone can see you better. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for finally standing. We are very happy about your stance as an artist. Thank you very much.
You may thank you for contesting, for plunging into politics. Yeah.
We are thanking him for what he has not revealed, but what we know he has revealed. So the question is, so I'm talking as an average citizen now. Right now we are in a situation where if you're not right, you have to be left. This centrist approach or this buffet approach that you just said of taking, which is what most of us want to, because some of us are feeling extremely pressurized to take stances even when we don't need to take stances because we don't know enough about the situation. How do you think that approach is going to work? Because the country is deeply polarized right now. We either have to be on this extreme or the other.
I think it's a great question, actually.
Yes, and there are many people, like, the reason why I came at all is because I feel like most of them.
Yeah.
And let me tell you an example. I thought she said only the questions can't be long. So I'll take that opportunity, that loophole to jump into. See, I was asking about this flooding situation in Tambram and Mudichur. I said, what is wrong with these politicians? There are 12 lakh people living there. Does it not translate to votes? Are they not worried about it? And the person who does the census and other things, he came and told me, answered this question. He said, yes, there are 12 lakh votes, but 7 lakhs of them don't even come to vote. Yeah, and it's not that it's raining.
Yeah.
The Election Commission sees to it that they choose the correct time so that everybody is capable of coming to vote. In spite of it, 7.5 lakhs, 6 lakhs, 5 lakhs, depends on their mood, they don't come. So it's between whoever is capable of getting 3 lakhs is the winner. So, and they know those 3 lakhs are their friends and partners, and some of them are partners in crime. And so the last time's winner has built his house accordingly to what I heard. I have not seen it. In an area which is nature's designated area for water, and he has occupied it. And people know it, that he is going to be the nuisance that is going to turn up make their fridge float. So the refrigerators will float. And that kind of, but they know it, but still it's between the two evils. Now I'm going to ask that 7 lakh to come to vote. Defeat me, but please come.
Yeah. Okay, at the back in the brown shirt, yes.
Good evening, Mr. Kamal. Since childhood, I'm a serious Rajini fan. But I see for last 30 years all your films to just find fault and fight with my friends who are your fans.
No, I didn't hear that. A little louder, please.
Yeah. Hold it like this.
Yes. Since my childhood, I'm a Rajini fan. But for the last 30 years, I'm seeing all your films, to find fault, to fight with my friends who are your fans. For the last few years, without my permission, you have got inside me.
He wasn't your fan.
I got.
Yeah.
And my wife here, she keeps voting for Jayalalitha all the last couple of elections. And when we both go towards the election voting center, I used to brainwash her, no, don't vote. Vote for somebody else. It's a parliament election and, we shouldn't.
Yeah.
But she says, yes, I listen to you. And we go inside, come back, and I asked, whom did you vote? She says, I voted for Jayalalitha. For the last 6 months, she's saying, I'm going to vote for Mr. Kamal Haasan.
Where's your wife? Can she stand up?
Thank you, ma'am.
And
that is whom I am talking about.
Maybe you can give her the mic.
Did you?
Yeah. And
Why don't you give her the mic?
Yes,
she can
I'll
speak
do
for herself.
one sentence. And she is brainwashing me to vote for Kamal Haasan. And Mr. Kamal Haasan, we are waiting to vote for you.
Thank you.
That's a good story. Sir, could you give your wife the mic? I'm sure she'd like to say something for herself. Yes. Go ahead.
சார் எனக்கு நம்ம தமிழ் மக்களுக்கு யார் பண்ணுறாங்களோ தமிழ்நாட்டு மக்கள் வரணும், யாருமே ஒரு தலைவர் சரியில்லையே அப்படின்ற ஒரு கோபம் தான். நம்ம மக்களுக்கு யாருமே தமிழர்களுக்குன்னு எல்லாம் அடிமைப்படுத்துகிற மாதிரியே இருக்குது. எங்கே போனாலும் தமிழர்னா ஒரு இலக்காரமாக பார்க்குற மாதிரி இருக்கு. அப்போ கோபம் வருது. மற்ற ஸ்டேட்ஸ்லலாம் அவங்கவுங்க பண்ணும்போது அவங்க உதவி செய்கிறாங்களோ, ஆனால் நம்ம தமிழருக்குன்னு வரும்போது நம்ம தமிழரே சில நேரம் இலக்காரமாக பார்க்குறாங்களோன்ற ஒரு கோபத்தினால தான் அந்த இது வருது. ஜெயலலிதாமா இருக்கும் போது எப்படி இருந்தாலும் நம்ம தமிழ்நாட்டுக்கு மேலே எவ்வளோ இலக்காரமாக நினச்சாலும் அவங்கள வச்சு கொஞ்சம் உள்ளே வர பயந்தாங்க. ஆனால் இப்போ யாரை பார்த்தாலும் ஒரு கேவலமாக பார்க்க ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. அதனால் திருப்பி தமிழர்களாம் இலக்காரமாக பார்க்குறாங்களே, நம்ம எதுவும் போகணுன்னா நம்ம திருப்பி பதில் கொடுக்குற மாதிரி இருந்தால் தான் நம்மளுக்கு அப்படின்ற மாதிரி.
ரொம்ப நன்றி மேடம். உங்களுக்கு இருக்கிற அதே கோபத்தினால தான் நானே வந்தேன். தமிழர்களை நாம இலக்காரமாக பார்க்காத இருக்கிற வரையிலும் அது எப்படி இளக்காரம்ங்கிறது நான் சொல்றேன் நான். You will have to forgive me, but
No, no,
do
please,
you want
please.
me to switch to English?
No,
I
no,
can.
you answer in Tamil. You can just give me a summary later.
No, okay. I'll go into English. See, she said that a sort of a denigration is happening when they're looking down on Tamils. I think that it's our primary duty that we don't denigrate Tamils as Tamils. And how do I do it? I respect it. I mean, the fact that there is this quality, the spirit, that the pride of being a Tamil. The first thing, especially you're talking, we are fantastic. We have in the IT world, in education, in music, in films, we are there. Then what is the denigration you're talking about is only political. You can change it. So you are denigrating the Tamil by not voting. If you had all voted, this wouldn't have happened. This day wouldn't have come. Various people belonging to various parties, leanings, Mr. Cho, who spoke the opposite of whatever I spoke ideologically, but he spoke one thing. We both spoke the same thing, that do not stop voting.
Yeah.
Because at a moment I felt on the first time, usually when you're 21, you're excited about voting. But at that time I felt that why not vote at all? What happens if 70% of them don't vote? Then these people will learn a lesson. They won't. They will work with those 30% who have voted, and 70% will be neglected. It took me the second election to understand that. So, ma'am, whoever you vote for, like you said you are a Rajini fan who checked, it always happens when you want to critique something, you have to read that. So, Periyar read Ramayana every day. I don't know whether some of the great pundits read it every day. But Periyar always read Ramayana so that he could nitpick. So, and why do you think Rajini Saab and I are very close friends? Because the possibility of poaching into each other's territories, like I did with you.
Okay, here in the front row. Yeah. Okay, one minute. I'm going to call out the mic, so just wait for me. Here in the front row, yes.
Firstly, congratulations on your great
Lunch.
entry, and from the Rajnikant family.
Yeah, I was about to say that if you didn't.
So, outside of that, see, I'm not going to talk about left or right here, but I just want to know, are you going to take a totally nationalistic stand when you enter, or is it going to be this Dravidian culture that you're going to follow? Just a doubt.
Interesting question.
Yes. I don't know whether you were there at the Publicity of our Morosoli, Publicity.
Yes.
No, were you there? No, you weren't. So I made a statement there. I don't know the purport of it was fully understood, because probably I said Dravidianism cannot be limited to two parties, and even Tamil Nadu or South India. Dravidianism is pan-national. Thank you, sir.
How would you define it?
Yeah, we come from Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. That's where Dravidianism comes from. So the invasion, it happens. They're all part of it. The Aryans are also part of the country now. Like the Muslims are also part of the country. And you keep pushing and pushing and pushing, the decoction has come down and settled in south of India. But usually it is said that it's a very insulting thing when I say that, "Aap Madrasi hai?" I say, "Yes." "Oh, you're fair."
Yeah.
I will tell you that there are people, you show me a dark man, and darkest man here, and I'll show you a similar looking man in Bihar.
Yeah.
I'll show you a similar looking man in Lucknow, even Punjab.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So how did that skin happen to be? That is an ethnic group. I know that in our Jan Gana Man we have the Dravid thing. And even in our scriptures, when the Vaishnavites came and translated some of their Sanskrit verses into understandable Tamil verses, they called it Dravida Veda Sagaram. The Prabandhan, 4,000 Divya Prabandhans were called Dravida Veda Sagaram. So it's not limited to 2 families.
All right, here, yes.
Good evening, sir. My name is Mahesh. I have seen a lot of your interviews, and you always maintain that you and Rajnikant maintain your individuality, right? And you are in the, concentrating on your the skills of acting, and he was concentrating in his strengths, right? So, but if you see our political journey, or even before the British Raj also, it was always a divide and rule policy which kept the Indians, thriving. So can we expect a uniformity or unison this in this front, in the political front, both of you?
I don't.
Yeah.
Have you finished? Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I just want to ask. I think we would have discussed on this, but still, if you can affirm it by that,
Okay,
there
let
is
him
no
answer
divide
that.
and rule between you and him
Right, okay.
in the future.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Right. What we must beg to disagree, not even beg, agree to disagree, and have our own views. Everybody should have their own views and still try to work together for a nation.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. And she asked a question whether it will be national or it will start with Tamil Nadu, because I speak Tamil and I will have to take care of it. But only saving Tamil Nadu will not help, because we have stitched it together as a country. It wasn't that before. But understand, Mr. M.J. Akbar has written in a book as to why this is one single nation. There's something else that ties it
Us
together. Apart from various other things, he used the religious thing. Rameshwaram, Kashi, and Himachal, whoever is the ruler has constantly been the holy places. Likewise, the Muslim prayer places have also been Ajmer, and all those places have been places of pilgrimage. Whoever was the king there, whatever the political change, that was happening. And we are talking now about 2,000 years. So there's some connecting
Pull or link.
and use it also, but don't wield it to tie them.
So do you aspire to be Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu?
No,
Or do you aspire
doesn't matter,
beyond
but
Tamil Nadu?
once
no,
again,
but do you aspire to state politics or beyond state politics?
it has to go beyond state politics. So it is not about that, because the state is within the country. When I make politics here, it makes national politics. It's as simple as my statements here.
I'm making national headlines.
National headlines.
Okay, the lady there, okay, there are lots of hands. I don't know, I'm going to take 5 minutes because we don't have, how long
Hi,
can you
sir.
stay? We have 10 minutes? Go ahead, ma'am, the lady standing. The lady, give her the mic, please, sir. I'll come to you. You've been very patient, I'll come to you. Yes, ma'am, please go ahead.
Hello. Sorry to ask you these questions.
Yeah.
Hold the mic like this, like this.
See, we are all in business. We are facing so much problem in the beginning. After Jayalalitha came, slowly at the end, we could face without any problem. Now again it started with the corruption. If you have become chief minister or in the politics, is there any possibility to avoid corruption like Singapore?
It is possible, but
Will you take up all youngsters?
but
Will you encourage youngsters?
No, we will do that, ma'am. But don't throw the onus only on a small group of 234 people.
Yeah.
You promise me,
Yes.
and I'll promise you. It's a mutual promise. It's like a friendship. It's like a marriage. It's like a family. We have to do. It's like a business deal. Since you said you're a businesswoman, we put our signatures on that document. We'll behave ourselves or we'll end up in court
See,
and I'll end up in jail.
Approaching the officials and other things will be very easy.
It should be. It must be.
Okay,
And one more thing I'd like to state about everybody complaining about GST, fine. Complain after paying.
Yes. Well said.
You complain about them not taking care of you after you paid the ticket. You complain about a movie being bad after you paid for the ticket. Don't download it on torrent and then comment on it. You have no right. That's what you're doing now when you don't pay, because most of the small industries, especially small vendors, small businessmen, they don't pay at all. They don't know. How many of you take receipts for vegetables? How many of you take receipts for your medicines you buy? So it's not just he asks you, he gives you the choice. Bill venama, venama. Do you need the bill or you don't want? With or without the bill?
Without.
Without is what you do. Don't do that. Then your politician, you make it a little more difficult for the politician to be corrupt.
Yes.
Hi, sir. Here. This is Mukesh. What do you wish to say to youngsters who are interested to step into politics?
Please do come. You have not been. Where were you?
You are searching for people like you.
No, don't search. You appoint. Don't search for a leader. Appoint him. And you come. Please bring that lady, businesswoman. Make her also come. You come and you choose the person, not necessarily me. Choose the person you think is right. And the isms will find me.
Yeah.
You found me, fine. The isms will find me. Because it's all about the people.
Okay, last two questions, if that's okay with everybody. Stand up, the lady here. Yes. Can we get her the mic, please? Just pass. Okay, for initiative, you get
She's
it.
already got
one
the mic.
Question, one question, not two, one.
Yes, sir. So
Hold the mic like this.
Yeah, as we all know already, the state government is already dead and we need to do the cremation. But do we need to wait for the next 3.5 years, or, as a layman, what do we do now at this stage, and how would you lead us to do that?
I'm as frustrated as you are, ma'am, because the pundits of democracy are saying that's the beauty of democracy. I don't understand. I've seen on national television, any of them, they say,
That's the beauty of democracy.
That's the beauty of democracy. Where's the beauty in it?
What's the alternative model? I mean, there isn't a better model than we know,
I
right?
think they must have the right to pull down the government if it is not functioning.
Even if it doesn't complete its 5 years.
Yeah, but what are you going to do?
Well, in Tamil Nadu, you can't, it's been a hodgepodge for the last few months.
Yeah, but something has to be, you cannot throw the blame on democracy. Somebody has to do something. There are articles in our constitution which tells us what to do in this kind of a situation.
Are you saying the Tamil Nadu government should be dismissed?
You should. That's
Article
what they are
in the
asking.
constitution only means that.
Do you want it to? Is that what you're saying? I mean, most of the census that you take is not done.
What do you think? Do you believe that the Tamil Nadu government...
I've said it before.
And what would be the grounds? One line. The legal grounds to dismiss...
Inactivity.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, do we really need a censor board, or is a certification panel sufficient? This is in context of the Mersal Row and another old movie, Ore Ore Gramathile. These have constantly been criticized for criticizing like acts of the government. So don't you think that a certification panel will do the job of gauging the morality in a society and setting standards, rather than a board, a censor board that really cuts off scenes?
See, I was sitting in a body headed by Mr. Shyam Benegal, Saab, And what we recommended to the government is no censoring of films, only certification of films. Certify it. In this day of rampant pornography that's available anywhere for anyone to see, and if you think that the speed of the search engines increased because of science, no. It increased only because of pornography. That's the truth. And please face it. And while that is the case in this country, then I'm not saying allow all the children to see it. I do understand the civic responsibility that you have of not confusing the children. So certify it. That's what one of the older censor board chairman, Mr. Goldianand, said. Have X-rated films.
Yeah.
And certify them and put them in theaters. People will not walk on the same sidewalk. They'll cut across. People who don't want to be associated with it will cross the road and go to the other side of the road so that they don't want to be associated with it because they don't want to be seen near it.
Yeah.
Ladies, gentlemen, all of them will avoid that place. So, but the place will be visited by those who want to.
Yeah.
And you cannot deny them that. When he said that, we were all talking together and he said, I'm going to say it. He is vociferous like me. But we thought we'll first build it up in the press and then he will say it. The moment he said it, 2 days later, he was fired.
Yeah.
So that voice is now slowly coming back. I think it will be there in the land of Vatsayana's Kama Sutra. You cannot deny people. Those books are available for anyone to read. For only tourists buy it. We don't need to. We are 1.3 billion now already. We know the sutra already.
Okay, yes, and you took the mic without my giving it to you, but go ahead, and then two questions here and we have to wrap. Yes, go ahead.
Can I ask in Tamil?
Yes, please.
சார் இன்னும் ஒரு பேட்டியில் நீங்கள் ஊழலுக்கு எதிரான அனைவர்களும் என்னோட நண்பர்கள் தான் அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்கீங்க. பிஜேபி ஜெனரல் செக்ரட்டரி அவரோட சன் ஜெய்ஷா அவரோட இன்கம், அதாவது அதிகப்படியான இன்கம், இட் மே பி லீகல் ஆர் இல்லீகல். வாட் இஸ் யுவர் வியூ ஆன் தட்?
சார் நியாயமாக வந்துருதுன்னா எனக்கு என்ன சார் சொல்கிறதுக்கு இருக்குது? இஃப் இட் இஸ் ப்ராப்பர்லி அக்வயர்ட் வெல்த், ஐ ஹவ் நத்திங் டு சே. If the books work out, I have nothing to say. If not, then the courts will speak.
Okay, here. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Hassan.
Good evening.
The last 1 hour was fantastic. We always knew you are a very knowledgeable person and one of the most entertaining artists. I come from the land of EMS and I too have studied a lot about him. So what he used to say used to come true many years later. What would be the burning issues that you would like to take up? I heard you speak about corruption, which you're going to take up very strongly. Any other issues that you would like to communicate?
There are whole piles of files, set afire now. No burning issues of those files. Unattended files which has to be attended. You can't just blame it on the IAS officers and the cadre below. Somebody has to, and micromanagement is not possible in such a large state. Any large enterprise cannot be micromanaged like that. You have to let people do their job. Any government, be it Kerala or any other place, let me say Gujarat, so that even Gujarat, if you allow people to do their job, it will be easier. Here the problem was, let me talk about 2015's flood. It was micromanaged. Everything had to go to one spot. So people couldn't make decisions, simple decisions like opening up a dike. A simple thing like that, which any engineer of respectable education would be able to make a call on. But he was sitting there and it didn't, that's why it was man-made. Nature didn't I don't know whether to blame it on men.
Okay. We'll leave it there. Last question. I really do have to wrap. Yes, last question.
Am I heard?
Yeah.
Mr. Kamal, politics and real life is not really like movies where you have
Politics
and real life is not really like movies.
I know real life, but politics I'm new to. Okay, tell me.
So you do, in movies you have, happy endings, good wins over evil. That's the kind of state that movies come into. Many a times, admiration or applause that you have received here may not be what you would see in politics. It might not really translate into votes. Are you entering politics with a strategy just to make a statement, to make a difference? Are you entering politics to emerge as a winner? And in that case, in what way?
Okay, thank you. If I don't win an election, it doesn't matter. The winner in this case is not going to be me. It's going to be you, ma'am. You have to win. That's my purpose. When I say you, you are pointing one person out. But I'm not looking at one person. I'm talking about nearly 8 crores of people. So that is where the winning matters. My winning strategy is about that. It's more difficult than making one person win. I've taken the hardest route possible, and I want to win. I can't say I will win, because the will is in your hand.
So I have to close by asking you once said that like some people get a high from alcohol, somebody from drugs, but you get your high from taking risks.
No, taking steps.
And you've taken a giant one today.
I hope so, but yes, because it's a collective step. So it looks like a giant step. I myself am a small man. So
are you at all nervous?
Not at all. I'm as nervous as those people. Worried, yes. Concerned, yes. But frightened for a different reason, for the future. Not for that, it's not stage fright. Because as a matter of fact, I have stage fright when I go on a dialogue which is written and I can't change the words. Here, I'm not at all having stage fright because everybody knows the lines. If I miss, they'll cue me in.
Well, to our newest politician, Kamal Haasan, thank you. Thank you so much. It has been an absolute delight listening to you and talking to you. Thank you so much.